nothing wrong with your television set. Do not attempt to adjust the picture. We are controlling transmission. If we wish to make it louder, we will bring up the volume. If we wish to make it softer, we will tune it to a whisper. We will control the horizontal. We will control the vertical. We can roll the image, make it flutter. We can change the focus to a soft blur, or sharpen it to crystal clarity. For the next hour, sit quietly and we will control all that you see and hear. We repeat, there is nothing wrong with your television set. You are about to participate in a great adventure. You are about to experience the awe and mystery which reaches from the inner mind to 420.
There is a fifth dimension, beyond that which is known to man. It is a dimension as vast as space and as timeless as infinity. It is the middle ground between light and shadow, between science and superstition, and it lies between the pit of man's fears and the summit of his knowledge. This is the dimension of imagination. It is an area which we call the Mudflood zone.
Spooky.
Wanna get high? Wanna get high? Wanna get high? Wanna get high? Was that a party or?
Ho, ho, ho.
The world is flat. I'm here to ring the alarm with my puppet like charm, straight from the barn. I'm talking about Flat Earth Farms, cause most don't know. They think we live on a globe, a ball that floats. So listen and take notes, and take it to a higher plane. Imagine yourself in all it contains, in all its glory and flair. Flat Earth Farms can take you there. Open your mind outside the box. No more staring at NASA's Photoshop. No more moon landings, no line to ya. No more people standing backwards in Australia. Just facts and pure truth, planning straight to the roots. Flat Earth Farms help you understand. A magical place on a wondrous land.
The world is flat, and that's a fact. Tell your friends next time you chat. Let them know a ball ain't that. Let's stay playing with the baseball bat. Cause we coming at the barn, a higher place. The Flat Earth Farm.
This could be it, Harry. Pass the word along. Tell the men it's time to shoot the moon.
Shoot the moon!
Oh, idiot. Not out there on the microphone. On the microphone.
Shoot the moon. Shoot the moon.
What are we gonna do tonight, Singe Man?
The same thing we do every night, Boston Ray. Try to take over the world.
The world of science cares about you. Eureka! We found it. With the tools of science, we have invented, yes, hand sanitizer. But not just any hand sanitizer. This hand sanitizer was developed and approved by the Dark One himself. Here are a few of the things our product can bring you.
You slept. Warning, the self-destruct system has been activated. Option to override self-destruct expires in 10 minutes.
You can go jump. Hey. You can go jump. You can go jump. Hey.
Listen,
You
Bogey,
can go jump.
I think it's about time we spoke that godly shit. Maybe interest some folk, or maybe not.
You can go jump.
Listen, come mind the room when I'm stepping in. A giant over next to kin is a Nephilim, or the Nephilim, something you've never seen. Like Adam and Eve, no leaves, Harold pressing jeans. What? I represent the bread and beans. Still building halfway up on the mezzanine. Dare to dream, prime Pablo running Medellin. Shave on from my product, my ass is fiends. Yeah, with that I came cause I'm more than able. Did Jesus tread on the water when my thoughts enabled? And when I'm talking my rhymes, divine course through my spine. Miracles occur, turning water to wine. I flock the sheep, receive messages like Moses did at a precipice. And now until I exit this, I'll bless with rhetoric, give light like God in Genesis, removing pain and pestilence. Nostalgia make you reminisce.
I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. The devil's trying to break me down. I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. To right my wrongs. I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. When my feet get weary, I walk through the valley of the shadow of death is
magnificent space dweller. Pinpoint the vital nerve. White lotus, guillotine blade. I smoke island herb. Drop a brick on your fitted and tilt your whole way of living. Victorious vision, undetected hypnotism. $1,000 Alps mountain jumpsuit. All terrain, glaciers and altitude. This is how you jump through. Legend on the pop up. Don't get shot, cause you know the guy got nuts to open your top. Take a number with all the other bitter backbiters. Johnny come latelys who hate me because I'm writer. For all the spades in my deck of cards, eat it like a broke nigga staring at a necklace hard. This the type of shit to get me charged. To make a pilgrim wanna invest 50 large, my shit's retard. Frankenstein rhyme, electrical volts. PA, you know the MO, the message is post. Toast.
Godly, time to listen up and hear the God speak. Move alone, don't need a boss. Strike you down, but I like that if you cross me. When you cross streets, don't believe it, they just watch me. Even when the dark was upon me, your more godly, I kept faith, remain godly. If we don't remove evil, the clouds swarm me. Could be costly, swap the boss, so just be marked with peace.
I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. The devil's trying to break me down. I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. To right my wrongs. I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. When my feet get weary, I walk through the valley of the shadow of death is.
Stop knocking at my. Stop knocking at my. Stop knocking at my door.
Tech teams run on Notion. It's a
Yeah. Phil House. Let's go.
They don't call it work for nothing. You see that shit and wanna be it, but couldn't cook up the mustard. Stupid little fucker. Everybody wanna rap now, but jump shit when they get bad, then they fall back to the background. Try and spit for groupies, you ain't built for this kid, you pussy. I pick them off like Billy Zane, fuck your bitch like Billie Jean. Till she claims she caught my seed and leave your ass for bigger things. That fat lady belt in front of the balcony. It's over for any clown that wanna challenge me. Every line's another Calvary, followed up with powder cakes. Hang them in my gallery, posterized like out in history. Eat foods like calories, vagabonds, I'm Jack the Ripper. You love that trick, dog, and I barely tip her. Fuck around and play the skipper. Sicker frauds can kiss the zipper. Skip around with a stick so big from home plate I can hit the pitcher. Every single day I'm on my grind on the business end. Every other day you in the line like you killing shit. Then there come a day when I put you out your misery. Go on, catch that fade, motherfucker. Think I'm playing with you, yeah, they acting gay for attention, that's ridiculous. You look like a lady with that choker chain like he a stripper. I'm just a chill with the aristocrats. Cop a deal from Toss and Salad, pop a pill and rocks and blasts is going down like Richie Valens. I can stand on my own too, the whole truth, fuck you, pavement. Yeah. And ain't shit that you gon' do, your whole crew can catch that facelift. I tell them like, move, you better back up. bitch. We some inglorious bastards. The faculty charged up an assault and battery with battering rams strapped to cannons that'll reach North Korea.
I am live. I hear someone coughing outside my house. Someone smoking weed outside my house. How we doing tonight? Who do we got here? Let's see what's going on. Oh, private chat up. All right. Well, internet. All right. Well, Singe Man was here, but his internet sucked, and he went to sleep on the late night.
You slept. Warning, the self-destruct system has been activated. Option to override self-destruct expires in 10 minutes.
What's going on? Okay, let's give the chat a shout out. Even though it says I only have 4 people watching, I don't believe it. Because we have Nightbot watching. That's 1 person. We have me. That's 2 people. Bobby Molly. What's up? Dana. What's up? Thanks for the support. Drew Duncan. What's up? Thanks for being here. Forever Love. So that's like 7 people already, I think. I counted. I don't know. I'm not really good at math. Brian's here. What's up, man? We have Bearsworth was here, or is maybe still here. We have Voynick. Did I pronounce it right? I'm finally getting things right. Drew Duncan. Did I say him? Machine Head. What's up? Anyone else? Do I see? If I didn't say you, it's because it just ain't showing up on my computer. A puffin on the straw nana. I just opened it. It's a gram. It tastes so good, I might just smoke the whole thing, like, tonight. Like, yeah. Love it. That's smooth. So anyway, I don't know. I just don't know. No, actually, I do know. Nancy! What happened to Singe, man? All right, you ready? So we got all right. Oh, shit. All right, I have something I want to get into that I've been wanting to talk about. Okay, so there's a lot of people that are trying to debunk the Mudflood by trying to debunk the meltology, right? Which a lot of people don't understand the difference. Like, don't just lump me in with the meltologists, okay? Like, I look at meltology. It's interesting. I'm not a meltologist, though. My channel is called Boston Ray Mudflood Adventures, not Boston Ray Meltology Shack. You know what I'm saying? Like, people don't understand the difference between meltology and the Mudflood. And I'm not saying anything bad about meltology. I mean, I like it. I enjoy it. Shout out to Jen. I love all them over there. Spartan Red, everybody, you know, they're doing good research. Shampoo. I just, you know, I don't know. All right, so this is the difference. Okay. The mud flood was a flood. I think the mud flood was the great flood, and a lot of the floods that they talk about that happen in scriptures and biblical texts and all kinds of everything. All right, ancient texts throughout the world. Right, they talk about great floods. Mud floods, for me, are provable because it happens. It still happens now. I've shown it in California. You know, you can see it happening, you know, in real life still today. Now, I've been getting a lot of shit from like the globe trolls. The globe trolls are trying to debunk the mud flood now. Like, cause they were, you know, over on BitChute, you know what I mean? They suck. But it's like they didn't understand. They were talking shit about me about flat Earth, and I was like, listen, I already know that the Earth is flat. I'm beyond that. You know, like I'm beyond the Earth being flat. Like I know it's flat. I've proven it a million different ways to myself. I could sit here all night and tell you, you know, like the Earth is flat this way, the Earth is flat that way, the Earth is flat the other way. Hey, it's flat, you know, like, all right, we get it. All right. So I moved on. Mudflood, you know? So these globe trolls are still like, oh, like trying to debunk me on the flat Earth. And I'm like, listen, like, why don't you guys start debunking the mud flood? Because we need more mud flood trolls. You know, honestly, like we need you guys. Like, what's going on with the mud flood trolls? We don't have any mud flood trolls. You know what I'm saying? We need them. So they were like, oh, if you want to keep looking at fossils of like mud fossils, you know, like that's not what I do. You know what I'm saying? Like that might be part of the ancient trees and mud fossils. That's not. Have you guys seen me cover any ancient trees or mud fossils? Not much, right? Maybe a little bit, but not much, right? Because that's not what I do. That's not the type of research my mud flood research is. I go out and I look at buildings that are outside that I can touch with my hand, that are in front of my face, right? And I look at how low they go under the fucking ground. And I film what kind of tech they had on the roof and what's left. Like, and then I look up the building, and the buildings, they have longer lives than us. The buildings were here before we were born. The buildings will be here after we die. There's a lot of fucking buildings everywhere, all over the place, right? Old ones, new ones, friggin' buried ones, subways, right? And they all have histories, right? But like, all right, like a human history, like when you're born, you get a birth certificate, they keep your medical record, you have your criminal query report, God forbid if you get arrested, your school records, like whatever you leave behind in your life, that's what people could look up about you, you know, like your addresses, things like that. Like when you pass away, you know, people ever want to look into your life, they might be able to find like 100 years, maybe 70 years worth of stuff, maybe 50, 60. People only live until like 30, 40 now, you know? So like, you know, there's not much history when you look up a person. But when you look up a building, you can find like thousands of years worth of history sometimes, but usually it only goes back about 500 years and then it cuts off. But they couldn't cover up all of the history for all of the buildings before we figured it out. You know what I'm saying? And that's the mud flood research I do. It's real research. It's not bullshit. You can look up the fake narrative history of the building And there's some truth. You got to look for truth in between the lines, you know? And then there's also like real evidence of underground, you know, like pavement glass to shine light under the ground, because there was rooms under the ground. Like, there's real mud flood evidence. Now, I know people in the Mudflood community.
Serve, bow wow mud, he's my mighty puppy. Sir bow wow mud, he's my mighty puppy. Sir bow wow mud, he's my mighty puppy. Sir bow wow mud.
And like, you know, like they felt like the meltologists, not all of them, but the ones at the top, the ones that are in charge of it, were doing it on purpose to discredit the Mudflood. That's how I didn't feel that way, but that's how they felt. And they were really passionate about it. And that's how they really, you know, you can't control how someone else feels. So in a way, it's kind of coming true, because, you know, everybody's attacking meltology and they're calling it Mudflood. You know what I mean? So I can see it both ways, but what I want to do is present some real Mudflood evidence tonight. Mudflood. Now, I don't know about meltology. I'm not saying it's real. I'm not saying it's fake. I don't care. Like, it's not my thing. It's not my cup of tea right now. But I've been looking, you know, for the best Mudflood evidence, and this is pretty good. music to that shit. Hold on a sec. I didn't realize it was just music. Hold on a sec. I'll play my own music to that shit. Let me see. All right. All right. Here we go. This one's good. If it's gonna play, let's see.
About Tartaria and about Mudflood, and we're gonna give you a little something different for today about the red brick makers. Was Tartaria the origin of red brick making? Was the Tartarians the first brick builders? And if I'm going to kind of talk about that and kind of go over some of those facts and to kind of show that it had
the hot whole thief with a Glock so creep. Your might as well be Amish, you ain't got no heat. Plus you ain't shit, never was shit, never will be.
We'll let him talk.
To be a worldwide civilization for this type of architecture that's all over the world, and this type of brick making, that the ancients had to be far more advanced than academians wanted them to be.
Look at that.
Kind of go over that.
What the fuck happened?
What's going on, Philip? How's everything been, man?
Yeah, pretty fine.
That's unacceptable.
New Year's, you know. So brick making is a huge topic. We have so many constructions made of bricks. First of all,
I have no idea, Drew Duncan. Who this guy?
We have bridges.
Who is he?
We have tunnels, which are underground, and we have starfolds, right? So huge amount of bricks were used, and perhaps they needed a production units,
I don't know,
or mobile production units, whatever you call them, to pull this or that production unit towards the construction site and establish the continuous production, because they didn't have all that machinery as
Tartaria, Mudflood,
right?
Hidden history on Odyssey.
In official theory,
supposedly, right? I mean, we don't know.
So I think we should, first check the official theory, and the first machine that was made in 19th century. In fact, 1855, I guess, something like this. It was made in England. It could produce 25,000 bricks daily, with the minimum manual control. So it's a huge number. It's a huge number, right? But what does it mean? It means that you not only make a form of a brick, and you have to make all the process. It's not forming, it's drying, it's continuous, slow warming.
Yes.
With the chemical reactions made of smoke sometimes, because smoke pulling out all this different stuff that is not wanted in the bricks. And dries it, takes all the moisture that is left from the drying, and then you do the third step, which is called firing, or burning the bricks, and it's supposed to be like a couple of days. So I'm not quite sure what they mean about 25,000 per day. So maybe it's an average when you have a process timeline, like a month or something like this, so they could be producing 25,000 per day, multiplying on 30 days, so that could be just a number of let's see what it's going to be.
It's sort of like wine, you know what I mean? They've been doing it for a long time. They already got bricks already
Yes,
stocked.
it's just the one machine, right?
They got bricks off the yin
To
yang.
produce that machine, you also have to do something, right? You also have to make metal, all these lines, because I'll show some pictures. You have to understand that. Let me just try to screen share what I found.
Absolutely.
So this first page is about the history of the brick and some types of the brick. So it's like it was well known before the Christ era. So it's like huge periods of time that they showing us. But let's just scroll closer to the industrial era, because the previous era is not really. It could be anything because they can tell us anything. Industrial era is the era of 19th century, so it's what I'm trying to research. So as I said, in 1855 they produced the first machine, and it was capable of producing 25,000 bricks per day with minimal supervision. And then some company patented it, and even a guy in New York patented it in 1852. I don't know how it's that he patented it 3 years before the guy was inventing the actually not inventing, making the first machine, because inventing could be inventing in a small size, right, and making machinery and production line could be in huge sizes, and so it took some years for them to do them to produce those machinery. So. And this is where the official science says they started all this stuff. So before that, it looks kind of like this. So it's just containing the clay in some forms and forming the bricks and stacking them into the huge stacks, or whatever you call them, and sometimes with horses, sometimes without the horses. You can find those pictures in Wikipedia's or in Google images. So sometimes it's not that very hard to imagine how they did it. But when you look at those huge machinery,
yeah, what is that? What is that doing?
Just imagine how much metal and resources you have to put in this machine, right? And this machine is very highly technological, in fact.
Yeah, can I ask you a question? Look how big that is. Is that something that we just took over from
once in my house by myself,
kind of technology from the giants, from the bigger people that we coexisted with?
No blueprints.
Is that a possibility? Did we get this kind of
from looking at it,
technology from the giants?
I think it's just mechanical technology, and mechanical technology is an engineering knowledge, right? So who said there were no engineers?
Right.
So engineers always inventing stuff. So I think it's not very hard to imagine how to do this, but to do something like this, you have to pick all the chances, all the possible chances, and create exactly this type of construction, right? That's gonna be working exactly this type of way that you want. So you're supposed to know the recipe of what you know, and what you know how to produce the brick. So we had some period of time of a manual production, so they probably knew all the technical qualities of the brick, and they knew how exactly manipulate them during the production. So to make the production cheaper, in fact, and to make it faster.
Right.
So
right.
When we talk about manual production like this is not great amount of bricks. It's just maybe to build a small town, right? So not. Right. It's possible, of course, and they did it, and they actually can perform this brick production right now, because everybody can make a form out of wooden stuff, and press the.
You know what I found too, Philip, or me. Found out doing my research that you can actually make this stuff on site. So, say for instance, like you're building a building, like the Tower of Babel, you can actually just make bricks right on site. You don't even have to transport these things.
Bricks.
Yes, because the mud was everywhere, and the clay was 90% of the mud, so it was underneath their feet. So that's why bricks were so easily to make a mobile production near the house of the construction or the whatever construction site you were doing. You just making this mobile
right out of the dirt,
mobile production, and just support and supply the demand of the bricks on the construction site.
Making the bricks right out of the mud,
and that's it. But
boom, baby.
The problem is that the bricks have a quality.
Yeah,
and those bricks are still standing.
That shit.
And sometimes
these ain't no
quality
mud
of the
bricks
looks to be more, or at least not less efficient than we have today. And that's why I've been talking about the industrial era, not the manual production, because you cannot have the manual production to, for example, speed up the construction. Manual production is a slow, step-by-step production.
You can't.
It's just a month or something like this to make a full cycle and create this amount of bricks that they showed here. It's not a one-day production. It's just about like a couple of weeks, right? This is only one step. This is the step of drying and maybe second one, smoking.
Eating them up, right?
Yeah, heat them. This is firehouses. Yeah, so they did those stacks in the form of a house, and then burned all this brick house around, and it was heating up for a couple of days and reaching the temperature of 2000 Celsius, something like this, and then it was drying and cooling down for a couple of days after all this fire stopped. So it was a very, very efficient way, but it's a long method, and you cannot just do it in a production rate like you do today. So
you need adult supervision.
That's why I started talking about the industrial era, because manual production is okay. I can handle it, and I probably would imagine how they did it in small cities, small towns. But how did they do it in the cities like Chicago, like Moscow, like St. Petersburg, whatever, the biggest brick towers, for example, in Germany, right? How did they do something like this with the manual production of bricks?
How did they do it?
Right.
We don't know, because it's impossible, I think, to imagine such amount of manual brick production, and the terms, the period of time. Who would pay so much people money? And I don't know. It's so expensive, I think, to have a manual production. So that's why they started to make all these machineries to get it cheaper, and to start to sell those machines to people that were previously doing it manually. And then they bought all this machinery. They forgot how to do how to do it faster in manual way, and they started to lean towards the machinery and the manufacturing way. And I think they were able to save some money. That's why they were addicted to the new methods, and that's how it was changing in the period of 19th century. So people started to calculate the money, started to cut the costs of production, and of course it could be affecting the quality of the brick. But no, bricks were still perfect, as manual as the production bricks, as the machinery production bricks also have the same good, decent quality, and they still hang on, and all those buildings are still there. You can go and check any of those bricks and crash test it with the modern brick, and you can see that perhaps it plus minus the same, you know, and the size of those bricks is pretty much the same. The quality of cutting and drilling the bricks is pretty much the same, and but that brick is 200 years old, and you are have the modern brick, which is like brand new, right? And so it's pretty much the same. So I don't know how to believe this all this BS story. I think these pictures could be set up and for us to think that it was easy. So they made some type of, you know, picturing those people and saying, yes, this is manual production. And they said, oh, this is, you know, the way they did it in an industrial way. And that's what they started to do to create those machinery things like this, right?
Right.
And then they ended up here, and let's see. Yeah, they don't have any more machines. So this is what they have. All of this is what they have. They don't have nothing else, only this type of thing. And this is not even a picture. This is not a photo picture. It's just a sketch, as you can see. So
right.
How can they prove that they had this type of machinery effectively working and producing 25,000 bricks? I don't know. This is just impossible, I think.
25,000 bricks is a lot, but if you had a couple of places, I mean, these guys were, from all the bricks and all the architecture left behind, it looks like these guys were pumping these bricks out, like, on a level that's incomprehensible.
No, I mean, you have to build a factory. Just think about the factory, right?
Yeah.
It's a huge factory. How much bricks do you need to build this factory? How many years do you have to build this factory? You're an investor. You invest in the money to earn the money, not to spend the money, right? So you have like 5 to 10 years from the start of building this factory, and you want your masons who are building, your engineers and construction workers, to build it faster. That's why you have to supply them with bricks. You can't wait for the manual production.
You know what, Phil? I don't know, man. You know, these, from the looks of this architecture and this type of architecture, these ancients, they took a lot of time and did whatever they could to build these beautiful feats of engineering. These bricks. I mean, the way they built these bricks and just marvelous masterpieces.
Yeah, you're talking about the brick design. Brick design, right?
Yeah, it seems like they didn't care about how much money they spent. And I think the reason why is because they understood that these structures wasn't just structures. They were just, they emitted sound, frequency. I just think they just had a better understanding of buildings than we could ever imagine. You know what I mean? That's why. And then until something happened where, it was about how much money, and how much money could we cost, and how fast we can make this stuff. Then that all changed, because I guess people, after the reset, people just lost the knowledge and just lost the real true history of how we build things.
The recipe was there, and they knew it, and this is how they did it manually. And so they just needed to make some production line to do this. They did it. They said, this is the line. Look at this. And it was 25,000 bricks per day. So, you are not building something splendid. I'm talking about factories. How many factories were built in the 19th century?
Shit, supposedly it was built in the 19th century.
All the factories were built in 19th century. They all made of bricks. I'm not talking about houses of particular esquire or landlord. I'm talking about the factories. Just imagine how tall are those buildings, how huge.
Those expositions. I mean, those exposition buildings.
I'm not talking about the design, crazy design. There were perhaps no crazy design there, so it was just the usual design, modest design. All the cheapest design, but still it had something very splendid, and you can watch it on each and every building. Some differences. There are very good hints, very good evidence of what they did with their souls, and they really liked their job, and they did it what you telling me. They tried to decorate even in a cheap way, because they had a better attitude towards the brickwork, and this was the culture, and this was probably what they call the experience, the practice. So they had it, and that's why probably they were not in a hurry, as what you say, but they were actually doing it faster than you think, because they didn't have weather, something depending on the weather, because they didn't care if it's raining or snowing. So they had to heat up the place. How do you heat up the place? You have to do the temperature to produce 25,000 bricks per day. You have to keep the temperature always at the same rate, right? You have the same recipe of the clay, because if you adjusted your production to the certain cycle, you have to understand that it was adjusted according to the solution of the clay, or quality of the clay that you have. If you have some different quality, just the different components in the clay, maybe it's not that yellow, it's maybe redder, or maybe it's like more dry clay or something else. You have to change the production. So the clay that you get as a supply for your brick production supposed to be the same each and every time. How can you have it? You have to do it in the same place. But where can you find the same place for huge construction? Same mine, same quarry. It's impossible. So you have to move from different supplies, mix it. Each and every supply route. You have different adjustments for different production lines.
In all of this, it just all sounds like Freemasonry to me. What do you guys think?
And this is all
I'm not saying them. I'm saying, like, how do you move this much dirt to this much places? How do you build this with that? How do you build this many blocks out of that with this many people and this population and that? I don't know. It's a lot. It's a lot to take in. It's a lot. I know. It's a lot. It's a lot of research. It's a lot of new information. A lot of discernment you need to do. For some people, it's just too much. They just like, fuck it. Like, I don't even want to look at it, because some of it, some Mudflood channels are like complete bullshit, and then there's other ones that do real research like this that actually show you stuff.
Complex, I cannot just explain it like this.
So let me ask you a question: are you leaning towards them? I mean, these places. I mean, it would make sense that that had big factories. They were making these bricks, and they were also transporting these bricks to their destinations. Is that what you're saying that could have happened, or?
No.
So this is what I wanted to explain, and I want to make it clear. So the meltologists believe that the fire already happened, that the judgment of fire came, and everything melted, and we're in the little season. A lot of them. I'm not saying they all believe that, but that's what I'm getting from what I've picked up. And like me, the Mudflood people, it's like I believe like the earth got flooded and like the Great Flood, and God put the rainbow in the sky to promise that he wasn't going to flood the earth again, and that the judgment of fire is still coming. I'm not sure if the judgment of fire already came yet. I'm looking into it. So like there is a difference between meltology and mudflood is what I'm trying
No.
Is what I'm trying to say. And for people to say like, oh, you mudflood people are stupid because of what the meltologists are saying. I don't know. It's like I'm trying to look at real research. That's all. I just want to find the truth of the matter. And I'm going to let them all bicker it out. And when they come to a conclusion, they'll let me know. I'm sure they will. I'll be the first one on the list. And when they let me know what they all decide, then I'll follow suit. But until then, I'm going to keep digging for the truth on my own.
I'm just trying to question the official theory.
Okay, gotcha. Absolutely.
Just how can you make it 25,000 per day?
Right.
You cannot do it if you don't have first the same quality of clay each and every day. The constant heating capability. So you have to have like a coal supply and
Hi, Trisha.
permanent heating
How you
of
doing?
some stove or heating device that you use for your drying procedures and all this
No, Forever Love, I will follow no man.
stuff and firing procedures. So the clay becomes ceramics only at some certain temperature, and you have to keep this temperature forever if you have a production line. So it's like eternal cycle.
Yeah, we got into brick making. You know, it's just it's interesting.
You cannot, shut down your stove. If you shut it down for a day or two, you lose a month, because stove gets heating not for a day, it gets heating for a week or something like this, and it's cooling down also a week or maybe two. So It's just a huge problem to keep it all in the same rate. Of course, it has to be close to the construction site. So they sold all those machines to the brick production units, and they were hired perhaps to supply the construction sites.
Right.
And what I'm saying is, it was easier to buy this old machine, first machine that ever were invented.
Yes. Okay. We'll come back to that. I have something else. All right.
Yeah, just to start, I just like to tell that I was watching you since maybe 2012, 2013.
Okay.
So then I had a little pause, like for 2 years, because I was also working for YouTube channels. I was managing YouTube channels in Russia.
Oh, okay.
One was a very big political channel. I started it with 30,000 subscribers and
What's up,
pushed it up
Nova?
to 150. Then I quit that job and started my own channel here on YouTube. And so now I have like a network of channels which I possess and manage and help people to promote them. So
nice.
It's like my job. So
yeah.
I'm
Was it like?
totally.
Was it a big news station like Первый Canal or Vremya?
No. Just a small Russian pro government, I would say.
They're all pro government.
Not all, but some.
Majority,
It was type of independent, but really it was pro government. So it was pretending independent. But just help me out to understand all these YouTube features and so on. So people were paying pretty good money. So I decided to quit because we were, in different type of thinking of life and things. I was like pretty moderate in politics. They were too patriotic for me. And all I saw that all these topic books that were sent from administration of like a white crow in all these.
Happened.
Let's go back a little.
Because during the Armenian earthquake in 8.
And outs of San Francisco, the history with the earthquakes. I've lived through earthquakes. The big one in 1989. And all these events that happened. So I mean, I know how it is to be in bed at night and be awakened by an earthquake. It's not a good feeling. You're running out of the house. You don't know if the house is going to collapse on you. It's not an easy feeling at all.
Yeah, sure. We had this, information also going on since the Soviet Union fall about the seismic weapons that the Soviet Union was possessing already in the 80s. And so there was like a kind of a rumor or conspiracy theory, whatever you call it, that they planted it in Caucasus during the Armenian earthquake in 1988, I believe, 89. So it was quite a big one. It shake all Caucasus and people were devastated. So I kind of believe that they have this weapon. Why not?
I agree. I'll tell you why, and I wish I would have the video prepared, but since you bring this up, this topic, the 89 earthquake happened, I believe it was 5:04 Pacific time, San Francisco time. And what I remember is the baseball player number 33, Jose Canseco. They showed a replay from the previous game, the highlights, because it's a 7-game series. They're showing the previous game, and then all of a sudden they show him in the replay from the previous game crossing the home plate he's wearing number 33. Right when he's crossing the plate, they zoom in on him, and that's when the camera started to fizzle.
50-foot section, you see down there below the two cars that were on the upper deck.
I need an ambulance. Hold on, I'll transfer.
Prepare yourselves. Shut off the gas. Shut off electricity. Store water in your bathtub. Don't expect.
Obviously, in the city of San Francisco, again, as we take a look at that appears to be what would be the Marina District.
The entire upper deck of the Cypress structure.
There was no indication of a shake. There was just the initial boom, and everything went.
He was thrown to his right, and I was thrown to my left.
Right, exactly when they show the number 33. And anybody can look this up. If you just look up ABC, Wide World of Sports, San Francisco Giants versus Oakland A's.
Running between him and Clark. Flash forward to the bottom of the fourth inning. Dave Parker barely by inches just misses a home run. Candy Maldonado with the hesitation, allowing Jose Canseco to score, and he fails to get Dave Parker at second base. So the Oakland A's take. I'll tell you what, we're having an
And that gets into movies where they give us the truth in movies, lies in the news, where a James Bond movie where they actually talked about using explosives on a fault line to start an earthquake. So this is not far-fetched, because we know how these people operate, where they give us hints in the fiction, in movies and books and any type of entertainment. People think, oh, it doesn't mean anything, but these people don't understand. They control every aspect of our society, and definitely Hollywood.
Put your link in, Nuba.
100%. So
people will sub you.
These are psychopaths that run this world. They love to give us hints, and they put it out there. Nothing's hidden in this world. I said it many times. They put everything out there. We just have to use good discernment and figure it all out.
Yeah, I also was doing a bunch of not debunkings, but decoding. Yeah, and might be interested to you, this information that I found. But anyways, I wanted to start with the reset theory. I don't know if you heard something about that. Maybe somebody told you about some aspects of this stuff that was kind of researched for a couple of years already. And a bunch of people came up with a bunch of information, new facts, and so on. So have you heard about it?
On what exact topic? Are you talking about mud floods?
Well, Mudflood is a term for some technology that is related to reset, but
Oh, I didn't hear you say reset. As far as the reset, yes, the mud floods are part of it. But yeah, definitely. Yeah. I had actually a live stream with the man that's really versed in this topic, Martin Leitka, in the UK, and he gave a good demonstration, a lot of photo evidence, what he believes these mud floods are basically resets throughout history, and he showed very solid proof of that. And I know this is something you cover extensively as well.
Yeah, exactly. So I made it a little presentation, so might as well. If you guys wanted to see that information, check out RV Truth channel. You'll find Martin Leitka chat here in a list of videos.
It's a live stream. Yeah, it's a live stream we did actually. It's about 4 or 5 hours long. So if you scroll through the live stream section, it's about, I think, 7 or 8 past live streams. But if you keep scrolling,
somewhere around here.
Yeah, if you go, you'll see him. He's wearing the glasses.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah, that's the one where he really gets into detail. Like you two are the main guys when it comes to this topic. Definitely on YouTube.
Can you see it?
Yeah, absolutely. I can see that very well.
Okay, so there's plenty of types of resets, and if we can kind of configure them in 2 parts. First one are artificial, and the others are looking natural, right? But perhaps not also artificial if you research them a little bit deeper than usual thing. So what is mud flood? Actually, a bunch of evidence of mud flood. You can find these windows that are being excavated during renovations, and you find out that not only windows, but the doors are below the ground. So that kind of made me, for example, research this topic.
Phil, I just want to interrupt you for a second. When you see things like that, people do not question these things. They're brainwashed. They don't want to go there because it's not.
Let me interject real quick, RV Truth and Phil. Whenever you see construction sites like this, and they try to cover them up too, they always put like drapes and things down in front of them. Try to take pictures of what's underneath. That's what the best place to find the evidence is, what's underneath. Not what's on the roof, what's underneath. Thank you, guys.
Back. History books. It's not on TV. It's anything that's out of the spectrum of discussion on national or international news is not to be talked about. And this is obviously stuff that's concealed, and there's no denying it. This photo alone, right here.
I was walking by this house every day. I was walking because I had an office nearby, and I was walking by this house each and every day for like 6 years, and I was seeing only this type of windows that
But I would tell people out there that are listening in, you cannot be concerned what other people think. You have to go where the evidence leads you, and that's the main thing. And this is objective evidence that cannot be denied. we're looking at things, all very old structure that's underground, and all these buildings. It's just unbelievable. And what I find interesting is instead of destroying it all and starting from scratch, they just build over it and make an excuse of why that's like that. It obviously won't be discussed, like I said, in the mainstream media. It's a topic that's not brought up. But you would think maybe some of these structures, they would have just flattened out, demolished, and restart, but they didn't want to do that. For whatever reason, they didn't want to do that. What's your theory on that?
Yeah, a bunch of information, but everything.
My theory on that is the whole place is set up like a computer board, like a computer grid, and they just build on top of the old grid. Like that's where the power, that's where the energy's at. That's where the computer piece is supposed to go. So they know it, and they just rebuild it like on top of the old grid. Like the whole place is flat. It's completely flat, and it's like a computer board. And every building is like a computer. Not every building, but a lot of the buildings are like computer pieces. Star forts, the pyramids, the State House. Let's see what they say.
Is hidden because there's a lot of brainwashed paradigm that was spread in the science, and so many agents, I would say, that are working in the science for this government and for budgeting and stuff like this. So
yeah, no one's gonna make it on anywhere on top of this world unless you go along and just be a yes man or yes woman. Just say yes to whatever the authorities say.
I'm not a yes man.
If you contradict what they say, you're not going to move up anywhere in this world. You're going to be stuck nowhere and not get anywhere financially, or
like me,
or have anything of high success. And that's
me.
Every respect to people in every aspect of this.
He's talking about me. Yeah,
people in public view in society. You're not going to make it very big.
No,
you're not going to get very far.
No,
if
I'm
you
not.
Don't go along with the program.
I'm not.
Yeah, so
I'm not gonna.
I started,
and I'm not gonna go along with the program. So I'm not. I guess I'm not gonna make it very far. I'm not.
Make my own research, because I was just a big viewer of everybody else who's doing research, and I started, why don't I do just my research? I found a bunch of
quiet down
evidence,
back there.
A bunch of comparison photos which are showing how the building was found by those who found it and filmed it the first, or maybe one of the first persons who filmed it, and how it looks right now.
Jenny, you woke up.
And you see a bunch of excavation was done after it was found, and you can see a bottom of the building or a lowest structures. For example, here it was found with the guy sitting and look at in the bottom.
Yeah, with the guy
now
right
it's
there.
Excavated, and it looks like 3-4 meters deeper than it is. So it's like everywhere you find this evidence, and it shows that the period of possible mudflood of 19th century.
And some people might say this looks melted too. That one, this one, melted. But I don't know. I'm not a meltologist. I'm not the one to ask about that.
It was somewhere between 1820, 1840s, something like that. So, and it probably wasn't like a simultaneous event, because you can find this everywhere, but mostly it's in the cities. So that's the problem, because if that would be a simultaneous worldwide something, that it would cover everything, right?
Absolutely.
No, it did. So I found that it targeted the exact cities and the nearby areas, maybe some fortifications, ports, some infrastructure, maybe mining infrastructure or something like this. So, and the scientists came up with the idea that it is all a cultural layer theory. Cultural layer is when certain cultures leave some something in the soil which could be found later, and so it creates some like a pie of layers. And they say they didn't clean up the streets, and the soil was growing, and then it covered the first floor.
Phil, I want to interject here. There's this is a fantastic topic we're on here, because we can go back further. For example, the Temple of Baalbek in Lebanon, where they said the the giants in the the biblical times. They built it with the megalith stones. They were building structures, and then many years later, the Romans came and they put smaller stones on top of the larger stones. Talking about mud floods, and just like the flood, let's explain the Bible about the flooding of the earth, and we see trees standing straight up that they're fossilized on the side of hillsides, mountains, and this is obviously a mud flood as well. So this has happened throughout history, and it's definitely been happening, like you said, the reset. And I don't want to interrupt you too much, but I want to get your theory maybe on a future possible mud flood. What do you think the time frame is between these events?
Well, I think the last one was in the beginning of 19th century, so
not too far.
Probably first half of the 19th century. And I believe it was happening step by step, so it's not like simultaneous, right?
Yeah.
So it's like a technology to capture the area, reset the people, and so on. So we're gonna go over this stuff a little bit further.
Sure.
Let's see. So we find if that was a cultural theory, if it would work, it would work everywhere, right? So we find this, for example, in the islands of what do you call the island? Easter Island, right?
Yes.
Where
Those giant sculptures, the giant heads.
sculptures, and no cultural layer at all. So somebody either covered them with the mud, or it was covered by some natural cause.
And Phil, I want to jump in here as well. I know the alignment. I'm not an expert on this subject, but I know there's some type of alignment with all these structures throughout history, and how precise they're located from one to another. I don't remember the exact details, but I remember there's something along those lines where how everything lined up, and that's something I want to throw in there.
Yeah, for a while, it was a bunch of places where you can find some strange things. Like you excavate in your garden and you find this mosaic, which was covered like 3-4 meters deep of mud, right? And those cases are everywhere. Not only in Turkey, it's in France.
It happened to me one day when I was gardening. You know what I'm saying? It happens all it happens all the time, guys.
Or in some cave, even. So why would you want to make a floor of mosaic in the cave, right? So that is ridiculous.
Yeah,
So what
doesn't make sense.
So on some ancient pictures, you find that the place looked different, and it had like a lower infrastructure, some seats or some stands or whatever.
Keep in mind that's not a picture, that's just a painting, but that's the best we get because they didn't have photographs, I guess, back then. Maybe.
Whatever. And look at this modern one. So somebody covered this area and made it flat.
Yeah.
Who did that? Or maybe somebody just covered it for some purpose.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only explanation, because if we know that they are setting up things, they are staging events, why don't they do it artificially, right, with their own manipulations? And we have this in art depiction also. Somebody was covering it in some arts, in some hidden messages. Like this is a panneau which is called a swimmer, but if you look closely, you can see that he is not alone in this muddy water. And there's a bunch of some faces, some hands, people trying to survive.
There's something like that in Boston.
He's not swimming, he is trying to get out of there.
Pretty creepy though. That face is pretty creepy.
And that sculpture did a lot of creepy sculptures, and she was born right in the period.
It's pretty scary.
Period when all these post-recent times were taking place.
And where was this located? That those sculptures in the
This is in Moscow. This is in Moscow.
Oh, this is Moscow. Wow.
Yeah, on top of the theater entrance.
Okay.
Yeah, this is somewhere in Italy also, as you can see, person trying to get out of the mud. Like they say it's an antique god or something, but
that was actually me one day. I was posing in the mud, and I was like, and this guy was like, hey, I want to make an art depiction of you. And I was like, sure, why not? So just make it look like I have a long beard. And he was like, cool. I signed the deal. He gave me some money. I did it real quick. It took about 3 hours. He was done. Guy was great.
Looks like a Viking almost, a Viking, or maybe obviously a Roman soldier.
Some Greco-Roman mythological
Yeah.
god. Also, we have a bunch of columns where some things is like pouring down below, and they call it the plaque statues or plaque, sculptures, and they also look like all these obelisks, where you can find this in Rome, in Vatican. You can find them in London. You can find them in Washington D.C. All those straight lines, and something is pouring below, and they call it plaque. They call it plaque obelisks, right? But it's a certain bio reset now.
Phil,
Empty
I want to
cities.
interject as well. I want to interject real quick. Obviously, they're hiding this for reasons. This will, unveil other things, and it'll reveal other secrets of this world. And I this is one thing I find very.
That's exactly right, RV. As soon as I start looking into these Mudflood buildings all the time, I find out other things that I learn in between while I'm reading in between the lines. It's crazy about other subjects.
Very interesting from the first presentation I seen on this, and definitely there's something to it. And to me, it's much bigger than we even can imagine. That's underlying all of this. It's going to lead to other truths, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, have you heard about empty cities and
It
a
leads
bunch
to
of
other
photos
truths.
of 80s, 60s, when you already had these photo techniques where everybody could be filming panoramic photos with pretty high resolution, and you don't find any person on those pictures.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Where is everybody? Why do we have so many pictures of empty cities?
And it looks exactly like what we had like a couple of years ago in 2020, right?
Yeah. And China, China's known for that as well. They build these structures, and this is maybe off topic, but they build structures and they abandon them, and but whatever reason, yeah, that's too much of a, too much effort, too much energy, time, and resources to not use it. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, we also have, I would some categorize them as destruction resets. It's some resets that happen because of some wars or explosions or set up staged events. So this is like when you have all this architecture in certain city destroyed and then rebuilt,
Yeah, very interesting. And what's the location of we just saw there?
It's just Germany after World War II, when they completely didn't have any reason to bomb this city because nobody was already messing around on that direction that they were moving from France.
They bombed this city in World War II for no reason. Okay? No reason. Just bombed it. Whole city. There you go.
And they still were bombing the cities and destroying.
Well, we know the world's a stage. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, Phil. We know the world's a stage. So all these governments are all working together, and the populace has no idea what's happening. But that's one thing that needs to be interjected: is wars are basically controlled demolition. It's meant to happen, and the soldiers themselves and the populace don't understand. That
doesn't
all
sound
these wars
healthy,
are based on
Jenny.
deception, and the people fighting it have no idea themselves.
Yeah, this is, for example, Chicago after Great Fire, right?
Oh, wow.
Also the same situation.
Mm-hmm.
You can find these antique style red brick constructions which completely destroyed. This is another war reset.
Hey, Jenny, when you have a hot flash, try sticking your head in the freezer.
The so-called war, when you have all the city blocked, like it was with St. Petersburg or Leningrad, whatever you call it. They were in blockade for like maybe 900 days. So nobody was actually providing them with food or any other supplies except one small ice trail that they had. And so a bunch of people were dead, a bunch of bombing, a bunch of artillery shooting in the towns. Many structures were destroyed completely.
Bunch of nonsense.
So right now we
Look
have
at it all.
Syria, right? Also as a good example where you have like when it was before, it was a structure of ancient times, and now it's complete ruins. You know?
Yeah, and so and it looks melted.
So what is clay actually? Clay is the most part of
That looks
mud is
melted,
clay.
the other one.
So it's like 70-80% of mud is from clay. So clay is a strong absorbent. It absorbs liquid and gases, toxins, odors, gases, pus, microbes, etc. In excellent means for detoxification, neutralization of poison. So if you have a bunch of maybe corpses, right? What is the best
I
way
know
to
it's
get
freezing
rid
here
of them?
too, Jenny.
If you don't have the cleanup, resources, you fill the city with mud and clay.
Yeah, just bury everything. Yeah.
Just
And
bury it all.
clay is also used in cosmetics for it has sterilizing properties. It heals wounds well, promotes restoration. So it's like very good, not only absorbent but also is a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
And on those post-reset photographs, you find out all those post-reset folks which are living in these mud-flooded constructions or trying to restore them, trying to clean up, and trying to take care of the place. So actually, after the complete restoration, they find that a bunch of floors are below and a bunch of facilities can be used if they clean this stuff up and take all this mud and clay out of those so-called basement floors.
Mm-hmm.
You can find
one thing, Phil. I don't want to interrupt you again. I would go back to that photo and mention this to anybody that has doubts these things. Imagine the one you just skipped over. This one here. Imagine for any skeptics out there, how would they go about building those doorways underground, and how would they go about doing that? This is definitely things that people, when they initially
They didn't build the doorways under the ground. The whole structure was built, or they built this piece of the structure on top of that old structure. You see, that might be a different structure right there. Or this might have been the whole structure, and the mud came in and flooded it and covered it, and they dug it out. That's what happened.
see,
But when they built this building, they had to level it off. You know what I'm saying? It has to be level to build the building. I mean, I don't know. We'll have to look into that more. If they probably build buildings on the sides of cliffs and stuff like that, but they need like stilts and shit.
Like I said, not mentioned in the history books, not mentioned in the school textbooks or by any teachers or the news history channel. And you got to let your eyes, see things. Like I always say, the blinded mind cannot. The eyes are useless. You have to open up your mind to these things, and it's very, very. I find this very, very interesting.
Nice.
Yeah,
I do too.
So you also find these pictures where somebody is cleaning up the area, like collecting corpses, taking them away, rubbing all this stuff, which is barely sticking out of the ground.
It's a drawing, but yeah, etching.
And also restoration, a bunch of restoration everywhere. People cleaning up the streets, reconstructing, digging something. A bunch of folks in suspicious clothes standing. And
this is how Boston looked. This is how every city looked at one point. So, and they say, all these other reasons of why it looks like that. But there's pictures like this surfacing everywhere. I don't know. I didn't see them when I was younger. But all of a sudden, past like 10 years, for me, it's been these types of pictures are showing up from history, which is strange.
And always watching with the hidden hands. Wherever you find those folks, you can find them everywhere. If you zoom in, they all have hidden hands there.
Masonic, yeah.
Yeah. No, so many anomalies on those pictures. For example, this is just a regular view, right? But you can see like empty windows, completely black and you can see like strange thing over here. What is that? And if you zoom in, you find that it looks like a bunch of corpses also.
Yeah.
And those hidden handers everywhere in
Yeah.
Chicago fire, in every cleanup operation, there's some people
Yeah, they're always
standing and posing the way they pose.
Well, Phil, you know, the reason they're doing that, they're telling you this is a Masonic operation that's happening. Obviously, they're telling us without saying, basically what they're saying is it's the Jesuits, it's the Masons, we're behind
the
all of
Odd
this,
Fellows, yeah.
without saying it, just by symbolism.
Yeah, that's what I thought, because, you know, I found a bunch of information from you two, and you had a different channel before, and it was blocked, I believe, right?
Oh, I had many channels that were wiped out, over 24 since probably 2008. Many channels have went poof, just gone, and yeah, so and it's just getting worse. The censorship is just getting worse and worse.
It is getting worse.
We just do our best to you know, say things in a certain way to avoid problems. You know, that's all we can do.
Mm-hmm.
And topics we cover too. Certain topics, unfortunately, we have to avoid altogether because it's not safe to speak on these things. There's no free speech on YouTube.
No.
Exactly, and I've been showing it live when exactly in that video about your situation with Jaron and other folks.
No. All right, let's see what else we got here.
Definitely free. Been already.
All right. Well,
Fahrenheit 451, or read the book maybe about it. So those folks were actually burning books there. They were, you know, tracking those people who possessed the books, and the guy actually found that.
All right, there you go. How we doing? Move back here. We got 19 people watching. Wow, pretty good, pretty good. Well, let's give a shout out then. Bobby Marley, Forever Love. Dana, so Jenny T.I. Murphy. Oh, Drew Duncan. Boynick. Machine Head. Nuba. Nuba wants subs. Give her some subs. Or him. Her? I don't know why I thought of her. I don't know. I'm offering free web development to like-minded streamers. Ray, need a website? I do need a website. I do. I don't know nothing about it, though. I really don't. So we'll figure it out. Nancy! I'll have your people contact my people. And I'll have my secretary, Nancy, contact you, your accountant. And maybe the lawyers can figure something out. That's the best I can tell you. Trisha C. Forever Love. All right. So anyway. All right. What do I got going on here? I have a lot going on here. I have the whole world at my fingertips. What time is it? 3:12 in the morning. Why am I up? I don't know.
The plan might be too expansive. Over here getting new advances, while you over there doing dances. Show you how to move like a dance step. A simple nod of the head can get your man slept. Foreign whip with a foreign bit, bumping foreigner. Shooter got a bag for a body like the coroner. Told him follow my lead, I'm the forerunner. In New Orleans, but I sound like a northerner. We the truth like Sojourner. Been out the loop like 4 summers. Back in the booth doing more numbers. Taking out any oncomers. You were smart, you get a song from us, bitch.
sick and tired of your trash rhymes. You need to leave the mic alone, I'ma tell you for the last time. Fully automatic, ready to discharge. Your baby mom's filling up my fridge with her WIC card. I got game and I stay with a thick broad. Money and drugs in a container at the shipyard. My style is aggressive. This a murder message. I hold burners to serve purpose and murder peasants. Slide off and flee the scene with the heat smoking. Kick a nigga in his ass till my feet broken. You couldn't win, nigga, keep hoping. Got your grandmother frying me chicken while she deep throating. Your whole rap style is delicate. You soft, so I be insulting your intelligence. In my closet, it's a whole lot of skeletons. Cause it's the only place where I'm hiding evidence.
Taste the product like cop and yayo. Pass the chronic like hot potato. I'm in charge like I'm Scott Baio. Gotta win, we cannot fail. Clock bell, size of whales on them lock scales. Kill your dogs like some foxtails. They going down like a prop fail. Get them smothered like oxtail. Get your cap peeled back like a hail L. Sending packs through the snail mail.
All right, we can get into this. Oh, what is he talking about? Ray's talking to himself again. Let's see that. Oh, here it is.
You're funny.
Hold on. All right. Now that's CGI. I know for a fact that's CGI. All right, let's see.
And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up. Who was able to make war with him.
Brian was here, boy, earlier. I don't know. Might still be lurking.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome once again to the Midnight Ride. My name is David Carrico, and it is my great honor to welcome each and every one of you into the Pure Barn once again for the Midnight Ride with myself and John Pounders.
Let's see.
Tonight,
Are we getting into anything? Are we going to show anything? Is this a talk show? I'm sorry, guys. I can't listen to these guys.
Down, they're breeding a race of giants,
Yeah.
and the Lord.
That's the type of shit I'm talking about. That's the type of shit that people see and they think, you know, and I'm not saying what they're saying isn't important or whatever, but like people don't want to, you know, I don't know. There's a difference. There's all different kinds of Mudflood research going on. I'm not saying I just don't want to hear them talk about giants. I want to see some evidence. You know? Oh, man. What else do we got? What was that other one that I seen? Hold on one sec. There was another good one that I seen. Sorry, guys. I need more time. Let's see that.
Just one night. Over time, skin looks smoother and firmer. Midnight Cream by L'Oréal Paris.
Our government textbooks tell us that nobody in the ancient world had ever crossed the Atlantic before Columbus, but the voyage of the Mayflower only took 60 days. Are we honestly to believe that no one had ever previously taken the 60-day trip in all of human history? The great civilizations of ancient Egypt, Babylon, Sumer, Greece, Rome, and the seafaring Phoenicians never wondered what was out west past 59 days sailing? If we accept this improbability, we have to accept many more along with it, because the Native American cultures of the New World and the Eurasian cultures of the Old World were already far too similar to have naturally evolved separately. For instance, compare the Peruvians and Egyptians. The number of complex comparisons between the two peoples far surpasses serendipity. Both cultures believed in an immaterial soul which reincarnates through multiple physical existences. They both worshipped the sun, moon, and stars, and held amazing astronomical knowledge, much of which has just recently been rediscovered. Both peoples built amazing stone pyramids, often containing boulders too heavy for modern cranes to lift, quarried from miles away. Both cultures embalmed and mummified their dead. Peruvian and Egyptian royalty both wrapped children's heads in the practice of skull elongation, like trepanning, to attain higher consciousness. They both divided the year into 12 months. Both peoples had a women's order of Vestal virgins vowed to celibacy, and violating their vows was punished on both continents by being buried alive. Both cultures offered animal sacrifices and divined the future by examining the animal's entrails. They both built huge arches and strewed the road with flowers for returning home triumphant warriors. At the beginning of each agricultural season, during a big celebration, the kings placed their hands to the plow and plowed the first furrow. Are we to believe such incredibly specific practices developed completely independent of one another? Ignatius Donnelly wrote, "When the Spanish missionaries first set foot upon the soil of America in the 15th century, they were amazed to find the cross was as devoutly worshipped by the Red Indians as by themselves. Ancient symbols like the cross and the swastika already existed in the Americas long before the Europeans came. Egyptian symbols like the Akeru, back-to-back lion gods hieroglyph, are found in Olmec temples from ancient Mexico. We have also found Mayan art and glyphs in Egypt. Modern Mayans and tribal Egyptians both recognize the languages found in their countries as that of their ancestors, and both can read much of it. We've discovered artwork 2,000 to 3,000 years old, clearly depicting Negroes and Caucasians in Central America. The establishment remains silent on all these issues. The similarities between Old World European and American peoples are vast and difficult to accept as mere coincidence. The use of cement, bricks, arches, and advanced masonry and architecture is found on both sides of the Atlantic, as well as roads, stone and suspension bridges, metallurgy, ore mining of copper, tin, bronze, gold, silver, and iron, sculpture, painting, engraving, agriculture, navigation, large sailing vessels, pottery, glasswork, and music. Both Old and New Worlders fashioned the same weapons like bows and arrows, spears, swords, battle axes, darts and slings, baptism, confession, penance, all long existed on both continents. Ignatius Donnelly wrote, "If we find on both sides of the Atlantic precisely the same arts, sciences, religious beliefs, habits, customs, and traditions, it is absurd to say that the peoples of the two continents arrived separately by precisely the same steps at precisely the same ends. When we consider the resemblance of the civilizations of the Mediterranean nations to one another, no man is silly enough to pretend that Rome, Greece, Egypt, Assyria, Phoenicia, each spontaneously and separately invented the arts, sciences, habits, and opinions in which they agreed. But we proceed to trace out the thread of descent or connection from one to another. Why should a rule of interpretation prevail as between the two sides of the Atlantic, different from that which holds good as to the two sides of the Mediterranean Sea? If in the one case similarity of origin has unquestionably produced similarity of arts, customs, and condition, why, in the other, should not similarity of arts, customs, and condition prove similarity of origin? Is there any instance in the world of two peoples, without knowledge of or intercourse with each other, happening upon the same invention, whether that invention be an arrowhead or a steam engine? If it required of mankind a lapse of at least 6,000 years before it began anew the work of invention, and took up the thread of original thought where Atlantis dropped it, what probability is there of 3 or 4 separate nations all advancing at the same speed to precisely the same arts and opinions? The proposition is untenable. If, then, we prove that on both sides of the Atlantic civilizations were found substantially identical, we have demonstrated that they must have descended one from the other, or have radiated from some common source. Stubborn Egyptologists, anthropologists, and our government textbooks also claim that the ancient Egyptian, Sumerian, and Babylonian cultures all somehow started at the height of their civilization and rapidly devolved as their empires fell. This is standard accepted fact, but how is it possible that such advanced cultures just magically appeared at the beginning of recorded history? James Arthur wrote, "The region of Mesopotamia, which seems to have suddenly appeared out of nowhere, according to academia, had a high knowledge of astronomy, architecture, a pantheon of gods, agriculture, gourmet foods, and courts. It is considered to be the cradle of civilization. Mesopotamia, in the north, encompassed the rivers Tigris and Euphrates, which flowed from the Garden of Eden in the Genesis stories. The places known as Atlantis, Dilmun, and Lemuria are mentioned in the records of Sumeria. This is an obvious indication that these societies or cities predated the Sumerian era. Therefore, the Mesopotamian civilization did not suddenly appear out of nowhere. It was more likely a relocated, ancient, lost civilization." Stephen Miller said, "One of the great mysteries that Egyptologists can never explain is this devolution, this retrograde. You look at the Old Kingdom, the pyramids, the type of hieroglyphs, the type of jewelry, the type of art produced, and then as it goes forward to the Middle Kingdom, it devolves. It's less advanced. To the New Kingdom, when they didn't even build in granite or limestone anymore, but in sandstone, a much softer stone, easier to work with. Are we honestly to believe that advanced mathematics, medicine, astronomy, architecture,
Well, I fucked that one up. I'm trying to get some shit together for a second.
Percocet, What you gonna do about it? The earth is flat. What you gonna do about it? The earth is flat. Now what you gonna do about it? The earth is flat. Now tell me what you think you're gonna do about it. Tell me what you think you're gonna do about it. Tell me what you think you're gonna do about it. Tell me what you think you're gonna do about it. Earth is flat. What you gonna do about it? I thought you knew about it. Would you rather do without it? The earth's a center. The sun and moon moves around it like a clock. Can you hit a moving target with a rocket? I'm not hard to get along with. Just take a bong hit. Do you serve up any content? The stars are constant. You want a consolation for it? It makes me vomit. We never do get hit by comments. I know you want it. Just leave another use of comment. NASA lost it. The earth is flat. What you gonna do about it? Earth is flat. What you gonna do about it? The earth is flat, what you do about it? The earth is flat, what you gonna do about it? The earth is flat, what you gonna do about it? The earth is flat, what you gonna do about it? The earth is flat, now tell me what you think you're gonna do about it. Tell me what you think you're gonna do about it. Tell me what you think you're gonna do about it. Tell me what you think you're gonna do about it. You know it's flat. And there is a bunch of us. Though he's munching on a bunch of snuffle up because you think it's cute, then why not cuddle up with us? We know it's flat. Why you making such a fuss? My supper was the fucking best. That's just because the earth is flat. It hit me like an uppercut to the nuts. The earth is flat and there's nothing you can do. The earth is flat and there's nothing you can do. There's a Russian with the crew. Don't forget to brush after your food. Asteroids and asteroids too. The earth is flat and there's nothing you can do. The earth is flat, there's nothing you can do about it. The earth is flat, there's nothing you can do about it. The earth is flat, there's nothing you can do about it. The earth is flat, there's nothing you can do about it. The earth is flat, there's nothing you can do about it. What you gonna do about it? The earth is flat, what you gonna do about it? The earth is flat, it's fucking flat. The earth is fucking flat. The earth is fucking flat. The earth is fucking flat.
MC, sign this petition, get a fraction of that faction subtracted by my division. I'm a boss, so that means I make decisions. Slash villain, I will kill an MC to make a living. Yeah, call me Super Daddy, my powers is supervision. Who? Supervision, supervision. Who?
Casting raps, you get your back snapped in half and seven.
All up in the club, putting squad up. Supervision, throw your squad up. Supervision, throw your squad up.
Impossible pain beyond measure.
Throw your squad up. Cigar guts, all up in the club, putting squad up. There's a new housing plan for the ghetto eventually. Project for a new American century. False flag terrorism controlling you mentally. The gospel in the hands of people with no empathy. A mixture of dangerous social chemistry between law enforcement and a military entity. Cameras on the corner of every corner you facing. Testing out a future Gestapo on immigration. Power, consolidation, information restricted. Just like the iron law of oligarchy predicted. Incarcerating the poor among the drug addicted. But but not the families of the ruling class that's afflicted. Cause it's a fucking caste system like corrupted Hinduism. I think you should listen. I've been through the system in prison. I've been through religion. Carried the cross as a Christian like it was anti-disestablishmentarianism. Until the seeds of despotism arrested my vision. Lyricism with cynicism and syllogisms. Until they fed through Albizu Campos and kill me in prison. Chemtrail conditions, stem cells of Leo Strauss's philosophy. The birth of neocon policy. But I laugh at America's fear of a new world order controlling the hemisphere. Cause my people been living that for the past 500 years.
Intelligence, understand.
Supervision who? Supervision, supervision who?
Casting raps, you get your back snapped in half and 7.
All up in the club, putting squad up. Who do we trust? Who do we trust?
The faction.
Who do we trust? Who do we trust?
Impossible pain beyond measure.
Squad up. Cigar guts, all up in the club, putting squad up.
Caterpillar metamorphosis to bigger nigga. Lantern in his hand, headless horseman to the rhythm. Been successful for so long, I can no longer feel it. Taking finger pricking, mob initiating members. Far beyond the dawn, my title ain't even listed. Federales listen, only hear me chewing, sipping. Dancing with a doll, prom night with Cinderella. Then we dip in the Ferrari, fly as Tom Selleck. Vocals on Tony Bennett, I'm only in it to later see people I taught tell me, yo, we did it. I led a revolution in the world of tech and music. Free the homie, did his time and paid the restitution. Time go quick, better have all your goals set. You getting yours or just hanging on like an old dick? I can talk about money, we ain't the same, son. It's just different when you came from where I came from.
Yeah, it's me again. This thing of ours you will probably never see again. But for the growth, it's the oath we're believing in. Locks, Kostra, Nostra, yeah, it's 3 of them. Lucci and him, I'm the nigga they can't stand no. More work, more ammo. Gambino in a Lambo. Call me for a situation you can't handle. More caskets, more murals, more candles. True poet, Audemars, you blow it. Ever I know, I'd rather die for you know it. High profile, this shit sells. Call Mary Richmond and tell him pick 12. Cause we never sing, we on the better things. Pride is nothing, integrity is everything. Yeah, if you broke, how you giving advice? Me and my niggas, we just living the life. Yeah,
call me super
Coming from Mattapan, going through Dorchester to get to Roxbury, just to get more fresher. Going up Mass Ave, hoping to Newberry. I need the new what? I stay in new everything. I got game in the hood, swear to God, everybody know my name in the hood. And the clothes are dope, yes I must say. Threads and emos, Adidas, Johnny Cupcakes. Hey girl, come here. I'm one of them boys that be in front of the corner mall downtown crossing. I'm a dawn to calm out, comprende. Eyes like the cigar sign, smoking on Fenway. I never go to sleep, never woke up. Nothing sweet, but I'm dunking cause my donuts. Hi Tiffany, can we date, hun? I'm Mr. Boston, not from VH1. No! Yes! King Spider. There was ever a question in your mind? Who's the best of the beat? Stop it. I'm the motherfucking king. Beacon Hill, I know you got me. I see you, Duval. D-How, where we at? Sometimes I want to go somewhere, man. You know? Where everybody know my motherfucking name, everybody do cocaine, you know? It's a place like Boston, you know? Beacon Hill, Paul Revere shit.